Hey YouTube, welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Magic Orthodoxy. This is the place where I review stuff for you today. Hey, you know that I'm into Rubik's Cubes and especially cube magic. I love cube magic. I try to review as much cube magic as I can. There's been a cube that I've had for a while and I haven't reviewed it because it's been reviewed a lot on YouTube and I just didn't want to be another voice doing the same thing. But I had this idea that instead of reviewing this cube like a cubist, I would review this like a magician. So actually, I'm going to talk about some magic tricks you can do with this at the end. I'm pretty excited about it. Let's go. All right, today we're going to look at the Giiker Bluetooth Super Cube. That's right, Bluetooth enabled Super Cube. The Xiaomi Giiker Cube is the world's first smart 3x3. It features Bluetooth sensors in the center caps that allow you to wirelessly track the state of your cube with a smart device like an iPhone or a phone or a tablet as you turn it. So there's a companion application that has guides as well as games and other fun things you can do with this smart cube. It is a 56mm cube. It weighs 3.6 ounces and you can purchase this at Speed Cube Shop for 50 bucks. All right, you're intrigued. You want to know more. I want to tell you more. You buy this, it comes to you in the mail. What are you going to get? You get a nice little box. Inside, you get a little stand that has posts on it, and you can post the posts through the cube, and it sits there. That's nice because it turns into a little charging station when you put the little headphone-looking charge device on top of it. The charging device goes through some holes that are on the side of the cube, and we'll get to that. And you get a little instruction sheet. Mine was all in a different language, so there was no English as far as I could see. And it charges with a mini USB cable, but I don't think it's included. So I think when I got mine, I got the second generation, and the Giikers always come with really fun colors. But as a cubist or even as a magician, I don't think you want the fun colors. You want it to look like a standard cube like this. So when I was at Speed Cube Shop, I also ordered a set of Giiker stickers that looked more like the actual cube that we all recognize. And the Giiker stickers come with the holes already punched for the charging station. So you just sit down with a credit card or a thin piece of plastic and you peel all the stickers away. I used a little bit of Goo Gone and rubbed all the residue off. And then I used transfer sheets to lay the stickers, the new stickers back down. Because really you're applying all 9 colors at the same time, all 9 at the same time, all 9 at the same time like that. So you just lay it down over the top, you center it, and then you just press and you peel the transfer sheet off. And you can get the transfer sheets at speedcubeshop.com as well. All right, so let's talk a little bit about some of the mechanics behind this. You gotta charge it, right? You gotta charge it, and it does hold its charge for a really long time. I've left my cube like on top of my dresser, and I've gone back to it a week later, and it still has like 50% charge, okay? So it holds its charge, it's great. You charge it to your laptop or a computer through USB, and when you have the app open, it does actually say how much charge the cube has left. It's gonna work like a real Bluetooth device. So like, let's say you first get it, you pull it out of the box, you hook it up and you charge it. Obviously you're gonna turn Bluetooth on and then it searches for the device. It finds the generic name of the cube. And at that point, I think you can even rename it. So you can rename it whatever you want. So it's your specific cube. Then they'll pair, you know, just like you'd pair any Bluetooth device with your phone, you give it permission. And I believe the app is called Super Cube. You can find it in your shop and you can download it. It's free, there's no expense for it. but I don't think you could tour the program without the cube. It needs to pair first before it gives you access to the rest of the stuff inside. And I'm going to keep the app up here in this section just because I don't have a live screen capture device, so I just have still shots, so you'll have to just bear with me. But once you have the app open, it's going to give you a bunch of features and show you different things. You have options. I think the first two bars are Learn and Game. Learn takes you out to an 8-phase tutorial for beginners. So literally, as a beginner, you could learn how to solve a cube. So let's say you're an old guy like me and you don't want to learn from a 12-year-old on YouTube, right? This is a free app that teaches you how to solve the cube. And it goes through 8 steps in a layer-by-layer method that would teach you how to solve the cube, and then it tests you afterwards. So if you don't pass the test, then you go back to the learning stage and you try again. The one underneath Learn is Games. If you go to Games, you get 4 games. There's a memory game, there's a puzzle game, there's a mine game where I think they put gold on the cube, and as you turn the cube, you collect the gold. And then there's a crash game where it's kind of the same thing. You twist the cube to make the pieces crash. From the main screen, if you hit the rocket down at the bottom, it's going to give you access to 2 different solving the cube menus. The first one is you could do a random solve yourself, and the quick solve will tell you how to solve the cube in 30 steps or less. So no matter how you mix it up, it'll walk you through a solve, and you'll solve the cube in 30 steps or less. The other one is a fancy solve, and that'll teach you all the fun puzzles or patterns that you can do with the cube. If you hit the bars, it'll take you to an online leaderboard and show you all the people that are using the Giiker and who has the fastest solves. And if you hit the stopwatch, it'll take you to a timer, and it'll actually test you in real time. You can shuffle the cube up, and the timer will start the moment you start to solve, and the timer will stop with your last turn. So you won't lose any seconds slamming your hand down on a timer mat. The cube will solve and time you in real time. And let me just say, as far as a speed cube goes, is it fast, is it slow? It's pretty decent. Like, it's not the fastest cube I have, certainly, but it's certainly not the slowest. So I've seen a lot of people get really good times with the Giiker, and I believe if you get the new model, check the listing, but it should say that it's also magnetic. I believe the new cube that's out there right now that you can purchase is a magnetic cube, which probably means you could get even faster times. All right, so let's talk about magic tricks. Magic tricks you could do with a Giiker cube. Now that you've watched the review, right? I mean, you probably already have a bunch of ideas circulating in your head. Like, after I've shown you what it can do, if you're a magician or you've been a magician for 5 minutes, you can probably start coming up with your own tricks. And that's the great thing about a Giiker cube. And I would suspect anybody who gets a Giiker as a magician, you're gonna come up with some great tricks, right? Come up with some great tricks. I actually released this video a couple of days ago, and I was excited about doing a review for a cube and doing magic tricks and putting those two things together, but I was just in such a hurry to put a video out, and I know after I uploaded it, I just wasn't proud of it because I thought, you know what, anybody could have come up with those tricks. They were super simple tricks. So I wanted to come up with 3 better tricks for you, 3 more advanced tricks for you, something that was worthy of magic orthodoxy, right? Okay, so I was thinking a lot about Theodore Anneman, right? Thinking about Anneman, thinking about some of his tricks. And one of the things that Anneman liked to do was do tricks where you got up and left the room. You went into another room, right? And I thought, you know what, there aren't any cube tricks like that. I mean, there's stage tricks for the Rubik's Cube, and there's close-up, like one-on-one, but maybe no parlor tricks where you're like just in a living room with some other people. And Theodore Anneman used to do these tricks where he did mentalism, and he would leave the room and then come back. And I thought, you know what, there's not a lot of those tricks around anymore. Like, that's still a really good trick, and it's still a really good convincer. Like, I'm not in the room. And I thought, you know what would be perfect for this would be the Giiker cube. Because one trick I remember that stands out in my mind from Anneman is he would go in another room, close the door, and then he would look through the keyhole. Look through the keyhole to see what they were doing. And then if somebody, put the pen in their pocket, he would know because he saw it through the keyhole. And we don't do those tricks anymore because our doors don't have keyholes. But the Giiker cube and the phone, it's kind of like having a keyhole. It's kind of like bringing the keyhole with you. So I got 3 tricks for you, 3 tricks that are inspired by Theodore Anemann's keyhole effect, and they all involve just a regular solved Giiker cube. You're going to be in a living room setting. You're going to have your phone paired to the Giiker cube, and then you're going to put the phone in your back pocket. There's nothing to conceal. People don't know to suspect. And then you're simply going to walk to an adjacent room to do all your behind the scenes, okay? 3 tricks for you, here we go. First trick is called twist and shout. Twist and shout is really simple. It's a mentalism and prediction effect where you're gonna do something with numbers, okay? And my setup is I have a Post-it note and I fold it in fourths so that the sticky is on the outside, okay? You're folding it in fourths so that the sticky is always on the outside. And I'm gonna lay that on the table with my Giiker cube, okay? And I say, hey, I want to do a trick with you involving a Rubik's Cube, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go out of the room, and then one by one, the people in this room are each going to take a turn holding the Rubik's Cube, and they're going to turn the cube maybe, 3, 4, 5, 7 times-ish, somewhere less than 10. Let's not get carried away, right? And you're going to turn it slow enough so that the other people in the room can all see you, because what I want to do is I want you to all know your number. So if you, Ted, pick up the cube and you turn it 3 times, 1, 2, 3, kind of like that, everybody in the room with you knows that you turned it 3 times, okay? And you're gonna remember your number. You're gonna remember 3, okay? And then Ted, you're gonna hand it to Jenny. And Jenny, you're gonna take the cube and you're gonna give it a couple turns. Let's say you do 5 times, right? You're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. And everyone in the room is gonna look around and nod and go, okay, Jenny turned it 5 times, and then we're gonna hand it down to the next person, okay? Something like that. Don't turn it a lot, but again, not too little. If you wanna fake me out and not turn it at all, you can do that too, okay? I'm gonna step out of the room right now, and when I say go, we'll just go, okay? So you step out of the room, you pull the Giiker Cube app out. You don't need to touch it, twist it, twirl it, or anything, just stare at it. And you say, okay, I'm ready, and then they go. And you say, first person, Ted, was that his name? Ted. And you say, give it your turns, and then you just count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, he turned it 4 times. And kind of wait and go, are you done? And you're gonna yell, okay? Hence the term twist and shout. You're gonna, are you done? Yeah, okay, now pass it to Jenny, and you're gonna count hers. Blah, 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 however many times she turns. Are you done? Pass it to the next person, blah, blah, blah. So you can have 3 numbers in your head, okay? 3 numbers in your head, 3, 8, 2, okay? 3, 8, 2. Then I want you to take your Post-it notes, pull it back out of your pocket, and you're gonna add 3, 8, and 2 together. What is that? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13? 13? Yeah, I'm terrible at math. Write 13. Take that Post-it note, tear it off, fold it in quarters the exact same way, leaving the sticky on the outside, and then put it into a palm like this, okay? You're gonna walk back out to the table with it in palm as your side, okay? And the very first thing I do when I walk up is I take the Post-it note that's on the table and I gesture briefly to it and say, let's keep all this together for now, and just kind of bringing some attention back to the Post-it note, but not a lot of tension. And when I put it right on top of the cube, I kind of press down on it as I'm taking my finger away, just to kind of make the sticky kind of stick, okay? Now, what you're gonna do is you're gonna do a little mentalism routine. You're gonna go around the room and guess each person's number. And you're gonna be right? Because you only have to remember 3 numbers, or however many people in the room, so it's 3, 8, 2, like that, right? So you guess guess Jeff's number, then you guess Jenny's number, and then you guess the other person's number. And everyone's shocked. Oh my gosh, you got their numbers correct. And you're like, yeah, but you know what? Before this all began, I actually made a prediction and I wrote it on that Post-it note. Now you're gonna do a false transfer, okay? And it's gonna be super easiest false transfer you've ever done, because the Post-it note is stuck to the top of the cube and you've got the other one palmed in your hand. So if it's palmed, mine is palmed over in my right hand, okay? Which means I'm gonna reach over and pick up the cube with my left. And I'm gonna gesture with my right hand and say this Post-it note, okay, gesturing, and then I point to the first person, so Jeff, I'll point to him, and say, would you take this Post-it note? No one's touched it, since we started. And as I dump the cube into my hand, there's a big action covering a small action, and it'll look like the Post-it note dropped into my other hand. But in reality, the dummy one is still stuck to the bottom of the cube. I then hand the switched off one to Jeff, and then I just turn the cube down. And I'll show you this transfer again in real time, and then probably again. Yeah, it's a super easy billet switch, and this is just a billet switch I'm giving you. Billet switch I came up with to use a Rubik's Cube and a Post-it note, but you know what? If you already do a billet switch, If you read Corinda, Corinda would say, do the billet switch that you know and that are comfortable with, right? Most of us have learned a billet switch, so take Corinda's advice, use the billet switch you already know, switch out your dummy for your number, and then have Jeff open the billet. He opens it up, he reads the number, and they're like, what is that number? It's not, you know what I said? Oh yeah, but it's your 3 numbers added together. It's 3, 8, and 2 added together, and then boom, Giiker ending. The second trick is called Turnix, and it requires a second cube and the box that it came in. I keep all my Rubik's Cubes in the box that they came in, and so if you order a second cube, just keep the box, okay? And so I bring out 2 cubes, 1 cube is in the box, 1 cube isn't. And the cube that isn't in the box, of course, I'm gonna give that one to the spectator, and that's gonna be my Giiker. And I'm gonna tell them that I want them to turn the cube as I call it out, okay? And they can listen for my voice, but they can make any decision that they want. And then I'll try to do the same thing with my cube. I say, I'm gonna tell them what I'm gonna do, okay? Tell them what I'm gonna do. So I take my solved cube that's in the box, and I take it with me, box and all, into the other room. And then once I'm in there, I pull out my phone, I'm staring at the Giiker app, and you don't need to twist it or turn it. You're just gonna hold the cube that's in your hands exactly the same way that is showing on the screen. And as long as you keep the profile of your real cube the same as the profile that's on the phone, you'll be fine. Okay? And you can also tell the people in the other room that they can pass the cube down the line. So if the first guy wants to turn it 3 times, the second guy wants to turn it 8, and the second guy wants to turn it 7 times, go for it, right? So you say first person, give it a turn, and then you watch the program, and as they turn it, you turn it. Okay? And you say turn again, turn, turn. Turn again, you see what I'm saying? As many times as they want and feel comfortable, you just mimic the same thing with your cube. Okay, so it's a do as I do. Basically, this is a do as I do trick with 2 cubes. Okay, it's a cube matching effect, which there's hundreds of. Once they're done, you just drop it right down back in the box, close the box up, come back out with it sealed in the box. That way you're not giving away the ending. You're not giving away the surprise, okay? And you can put that on the table and pick up their cube and go, wow, that's really good. And so wouldn't it be amazing if this worked, my psychic link with you matched, and then you pop the box open, and you pull it out, and then you show every single side the same. This last trick is called Clark Kent, and it is a drawing duplication. Now, there's been a lot of drawing duplications with Rubik's Cubes. This is just my interpretation with a Rubik's Cube. And your advanced prep is you're gonna draw the grid for the Rubik's Cube on a large piece of paper, like a half sheet, okay? Half sheet size. I make mine a nice big black Sharpie ink, and then I'm gonna color the center solid blue, as blue as you can make it, or red. I want something that's gonna contrast against the shirt that I'm wearing, okay? And then I'm gonna wear 2 shirts just like this, a collared shirt and an undershirt or a t-shirt underneath. And then I'm gonna get a piece of tape right here, and I'm gonna tape this right to my t-shirt, and then I'm gonna button it all up, okay? And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna center the blue square so that it lines up with 1 key button right in the middle, okay? So this is your setup. This is taped underneath your shirt. You have a solved Giiker cube, and you say, I'm gonna let you guys turn this and twist it to your heart's content, and I've actually made a prediction. And then what you do is you reach down and you unbutton that 1 button, and you pull your shirt aside just like this a little bit, and they see the blue. So they know there's a written prediction, colored prediction, that involves blue underneath your shirt. You then walk off camera into your other room. In the other room, you have all 6 colors that you need to draw on the cube. You don't need white, obviously. You're not gonna waste any time filling in any white squares because it's already white. So you don't need white, and you don't need to worry about white, which is great. All you need to do is set the Giiker app to the blue side and watch the blue side. You don't need to do anything else, okay? And wherever they stop, when they say they're done, they say we're done. You're still looking at the blue side. You know exactly what it's gonna look like. Quickly uncap your pens. You go across, that's what I do, left to right. I go red, red, green, okay? So in my head, I'm thinking red, red, green. So I go red, red, green, and then it's yellow, blue, yellow, yellow, blue, yellow. You've already filled in blue, right? And if there's any white, you don't need to fill in any there either. Then I quickly, when I'm done, tape it back to my shirt, button it back up, go into the other room. And really, I'm only unbuttoning 2 middle buttons, and that's it. I'm not unbuttoning everything. Just 2 buttons can pull this back out. Then I go back out, shirt's still buttoned, I got nothing in my hands, they don't know what's gonna happen. And I say, okay, you guys turned it to your heart's content, you didn't feel like I influenced you in any way. And remember, they can turn it, they can go crazy. Because all you're doing is waiting for them to stop, really. And you're only drawing 1 side, so this isn't difficult. So they could turn it a bazillion, jillion times, right? And then you do your Clark Kent reveal. Clark Kent because you unbuttoned his shirt in the phone booth, right? Now you're gonna do it a little slower than you would normally unbutton a shirt. Start top button, work your way down, work your way down, work your way down. It's a big reveal, but you're also showing them, look how long it takes me to unbutton my shirt. I couldn't have done this back there because it's taking too long, right? So there's a little bit of a time delay, and it's reinforcing in their minds that, wow, this is taking a long time. He had to have had that drawn ahead of time. You pull it out, they see it, you pick up the cube, and you know that you're looking for the blue side, but they don't. Right? And you say, you know what, I don't know, did I get it? And you kind of maybe pass the blue side the first time and then go back to it and go, oh, no, here it is, and then roll it, make sure that they both line up and they match, and you've just done a color duplication. All right, so that's my 3 tricks. Hope you like them. Please use them, please steal them. You can even make your own videos and republish these tricks. I don't care. I stole these tricks from Animan. You can steal these tricks from me. I love you guys. See you next time. Bye.